Hello, hello, hello. We are back for Unsung Heroes of Solano County. I'm going to give you a second to join the chat, join this episode of Unsung Heroes. This is a really special edition, and you will find out right now if you are someone that's passionate about emergency disaster preparedness. I need you to like and share this episode. This is our final episode of the season, and we have some special guests today. I can hardly wait to tell you who they are. Well, you saw a little glimpse of who it is, but who one of the people are. But you're going to see. I have two special guests. Okay, I'm just going to start because I'm just too excited not to. Let's see, let's open it up, this presentation. I think I got too excited, a little overzealous. I was skipping some screens. This is, of course, Unsung Heroes of Disaster Preparedness. And we are here again for our final show of the season. My name is K Patrice Williams. I am your moderator. I run both BrandGov Outreach and Empower Solano. And we have community partners. Listos, California is our community partner. CVNL is our community partner. And we have another community partner, Volunteer Solano, and we have Rhonda Smith that is here on behalf of Volunteer Solano. How are you, Rhonda?
Doing great. Thank you very much.
We talk about you almost every episode. You are the brainchild of this program. This came from your brilliant marketing minds to celebrate Unsung Hero Solano County. And so every week we talk about you, and every week we talk about you, the guest said, I know Rhonda. Can you tell us a little bit about CVNL and a little bit about Solano Volunteers?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. And before I move any further in answering those two questions, I want to personally thank you for taking my idea and just growing it and creating such an awesome platform for our local volunteers and staff members that have assisted with disaster throughout the county, really to be highlighted. So thank you so much for your expertise in this area, for serving as a partner with our Listos California program and helping to get disaster awareness out to our community. So K Patrice, kudos to you and the BrandGov team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So with regards to CVNL and Solano Volunteers is a project of Solano County Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors wanted to make sure that volunteer opportunities were highlighted throughout the county. Nonprofit and government agencies that utilize volunteers were supported. And so they contracted with CVNL. So that's how the two come together. Solano Volunteers is a program, a project that basically is housed in CVNL, the Center for Volunteer and Nonprofit Leadership. CVNL, that's what we do. We work with county organizations, nonprofit organizations to strengthen their volunteer projects and programs. And so I have the privilege of serving as the Solano County Project Coordinator.
Well, you do an amazing job. So with Solano Volunteers, give us a little bit more about that. I know that there's a portal that I believe nonprofit and government entities can both sign up in the portal. Is that right?
That is correct. So imagine it as a one-stop shop for organizations to basically input all of their information. And then as their volunteer needs come up, their donation needs come up, project events, etc., they can post in that location. And then interested individuals can be driven to the site and basically, based on whatever their passion is, they can find volunteer opportunities in that area. So if your passion is animals, you would look up animals, and all the volunteer opportunities throughout the county that are registered would be listed there.
Got it. And does it matter how small your nonprofit is?
It does not matter how small your nonprofit is. So we work with what I call grassroots. They don't even have their 501c3 developed yet, but are in the process, to much larger entities, longstanding entities like the Boys and Girls Club, Opportunity House, etc. So it doesn't matter the size, and again, government agencies as well. So if you're, we have public health, we work with public health. We work with the sheriff's department, other departments that utilize, anyone that utilizes volunteers can utilize the portal.
Give us the link to the portal.
So, somebody look that up. It's so I think it's Solano CVNL, Solano at CVNL, or back or forth. Our Facebook page is at Solano Volunteers, which has the most recent up-to-date information with regards to that. We also have an Instagram page that's Solano Volunteers as well.
Okay, we're gonna look it up during the program, and we will post it. So
perfect. Thank you.
So we'll do that. Well, that is good. You've made this so special by you jumping on and talking about Solano Volunteers, because I feel like I don't do it justice, the magic of it justice. So
thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to all the unsung heroes that we've highlighted throughout this period in time. And for our final unsung hero that you're about to interview, special thanks to her, because she works not only in the Office of Emergency Services, but with our Solano COAD, which are all of our nonprofits that come together during disaster. And she's been quite supportive, serves on our executive board for the COAD, and really helped me integrate as the volunteer coordinator during our last fire. So we were much more integrated into the process thanks to Robyn.
Well, you queued that up wonderfully, because I'm going to have you help me kind of do a quick summary of our past guests. So I'm going to bring up that page that you had me develop, ma'am.
It was another brainchild.
I tell you,
help me give birth to my ideas. I appreciate it.
I know it's the best thing about being in marketing. We get this, we get these people with these amazing visions, and we bring it to life. Let me take that. Let me kind of do some tweaking so we can highlight. There we are. So I am going to also put it in the chat so people can see it. But this is your brainchild, Rhonda. Oh boy, I have a gazillion windows up. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So this is a page that we're going to promote. If you've been following Unsung Heroes of Solano Disaster Preparedness or not, if you go to this special page on Empower Solano, you can see the most recently featured, and Vicki Dawson just up last week. And she talked about, she's with Solano Carts, and she talked about emergency preparedness for livestock and pets. What did you think about that? That
I
episode.
thought that episode was so awesome. I not being, not having a large animal or pet or livestock, hadn't thought about them having a goat bag themselves. I found that to be so fascinating, and to have water prepared for your animals and your trailers ready. All of that was, I mean, I just learned so much from that particular series. Vicky's super awesome to work with. Her team is so dedicated, and we look forward to continuing to support them and get additional volunteers. Now's the time to get trained while we're not in disaster. So please look up Solano CART if you're interested in going through their training.
Right. And then we had Vincent Valenzuela and Major Randy Hartz. That was a great episode as well.
It was, and they both chair our Solano COAD, so I work with them both quite closely. Both were very busy during this last disaster, but they were still very accessible and very supportive of the volunteers that were being deployed throughout the that time. And I'm going to give a
Yes.
shameless plug for Major Hart right now. Salvation Army is in need of bell ringers for kettlebell ringers. So please, that volunteer posting is on the portal right now. So sign up to ring the bells for our Salvation Army kettles.
We had Vice Mayor of Fairfield, Pam Bertani. That was a great
Oh
episode
my
as well.
goodness, awesome series. And I learned about Instacart and Lysol, so much more, but those were those were my major takeaways. I went and bought more Lysol, and had never used Instacart, but after she talked about it, I'm using Instacart now. So Vice Mayor Bertani, she was full of information, and I'm now looking into a generator.
I'm looking into a generator too. And I also ordered my Lysol on Amazon because I had been waiting. I hadn't ordered it since March because I was like, where do I get it? So that was a good episode. Chris Lofis.
Unfortunately, I was out of training and I did not see Chris's presentation. Although I do know the city of Suisun really stepped up during this last fire that we had in Solano County. Had to pivot in moments of kind of last minute needs. And again, kudos to Chris, his team, and to Mayor Lori Wilson and Vice Mayor Wanda Williams, all so supportive of us, and continue to be supportive of us throughout, beyond disaster.
Right, right. And then we have Jessica, let's see, Ostrowski Kelly.
That's Jessica's awesome. Jessica and I actually met in a Facebook group. I was kind of looking through Facebook and saw this, this group, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Let me click. Jessica's just one of those folks, not a 501c3 yet, but was doing fantastic work. And so she has partnered with me and Solano Volunteers, and is serving as one of our disaster leaders in the volunteer field, and just really helped during the Luna fires, and now helping with getting our disaster storage unit together. And she's just a wealth of information and a breath of fresh air to work with. She's a perfect example of a dynamic volunteer that we have here in Solano County.
She's pretty phenomenal. You know how you meet someone and you immediately feel like you've been friends forever?
Yes.
Like I want to go to her. Literally, I will find out her address. And if there's an emergency preparedness type of emergency, I'm showing up at her front door.
Yeah. Yeah. I have her address, by the way.
Okay, I need
Okay. All right.
Ron Turner.
Oh my goodness, Ron Turner. The 100 Club, awesome group. Mr. Turner and his team were right there during the Luna fires. I had him literally on speed dial on my cell phone. If a fire department, during the disaster, we had firefighters that, of course, had to stay behind. So it may have only, been a smaller number. I would give him a call and say, we have 4 firefighters at the Cordelia station. We need to get dinner to them. He's like, no problem. We've got it. I mean, so just immediate response has, reached out and done other projects. And the 100 Club, I in fact joined the 100 Club because their work is just so awesome. I wanted to make sure I supported it in that way as well.
And then Jason Roberts, he was our first,
and for Veterans Day, and that was so important because he serves now as an elected official for the city of Vacaville. So excited about that. Jason actually brought to the table the really connected us with the World Central Kitchen and with some cleanup efforts. And he was just able to really kind of show the COAD, you need to be talking to these folks, you need to be connecting. And he just helped us network prior to the fire, but then he was right there helping us make sure everything was, kind of being coordinated from a volunteer standpoint. So yeah, Jason is awesome.
Jason is awesome. And then we have one person to add to this season, and I'm going to introduce her in a second. But also on the same page, you can download the disaster recovery guide in 3 languages, and we'll add a few more languages as well. But we wanted to make sure that we had multiple languages for this disaster recovery guide. Is a PDF. When you download it or scan it on your phone, share it with your friends so we can keep everyone safe and prepared during an emergency. So with that, I'm going to bring up our unsung hero, and I want to make sure, Rhonda, will you stay with us for just a minute or two so we can introduce her?
Absolutely.
There she is.
Robyn, yay.
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay. I had to connect to my phone, so hopefully I don't freeze or glitch weird.
You know what? We're just going to, this technology, sometimes it acts a little wonky, and we're just going to work with it.
All right, let's do it.
Just going to work with it. So I want to properly give the bio, but before I do, Rhonda, I know you know everybody. Do you want to just kind of give a few words about Rhonda Robyn before I pull up her bio?
Sure. Again, Robyn has is the assistant manager for the Office of Emergency Services. We shared office space. She opened her office to us when the Solano Volunteers ran the older adult resource line at the onset of COVID, when we were making telephone calls, phone banking to anyone 60 years and older. And, Robyn, although we were all still trying to figure out what the heck COVID was and what we could do, she and I worked very closely together to host that phone bank. And, she serves as one of the executive board members for our Solano COAD. She quickly taught me, just by watching her do work in the office, about disaster. The more, there's a whole different world on the the other side of the screen, so to speak. And Robyn's able to really break that information down. And she welcomed Solano Volunteers into the emergency center at the time of disaster. And so we had a seat at the table. And I think that's very important, and want to thank Robyn for trusting us, for making sure we had a seat. We didn't have to pull up a seat. A seat was there with our name on it. And we were able to actually, work right along with all the other folks that were in that disaster. And for that, I will ever be appreciative for that opportunity. And Robyn is your Alert Solano guru. She's all about Alert Solano. before meeting Robyn, I hadn't signed up on Alert Solano. 5 minutes after meeting Robyn, I signed up for Alert Solano. So I'm sure she'll say more about that. But she's just a really wonderful person to work with, and is a real asset to Solano County. And oftentimes, you're going to hear her supervisor, Don Ryan's voice, but she's the woman behind the man that's doing the real work. So, and I hope Don's listening.
Well, I tell you, that's more rich than her bio. Like her bio just gives a little bit. You just gave us a full-throated who Robyn is, and so I'm going to still read her bio. But whew, Rhonda, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And with that, hello again, Robyn.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, good. I am excited to have you. Okay, I'm going to pull up because I can only have 3 screens up at one time. So we're going to say.
Do I get to say goodbye?
Yes. And I'm saying goodbye with my heart on my hands on my heart because I think the world of you.
Oh, thank you. And you know, I don't like being out in front. So
I know.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Well, we don't keep working with you, Rhonda, has been one of the best parts of 2020. Meeting you has been fantastic. I can't even thank you enough for everything that you have done and all of the help and work from all the nonprofits. And I could go on and on. So thank you.
All right, Robyn, thank you. All right, enjoy your time.
All right, take care. Okay, Robyn, I have you all to myself.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is read your bio and hold on, I'm going to pull it up on the screen so everybody can see it, see what I'm looking at, which is the fabulous, your fabulous bio. I'm going to make it the spotlight. So Robyn Rains graduated in 2005 from the University of California, Santa Cruz with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and began her career with Solano County in 2006 as an entry-level dispatcher. She spent 11 and a half years in dispatch, moving through the ranks to become the dispatch center manager. In 2018, she was promoted to assistant emergency services manager and joined the Office of Emergency Services team. During the last 2 years, she has worked through numerous disasters and emergencies, including public safety power shutoffs, civil unrest, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the LNU lighting complex fire. And there you are, ma'am.
Yeah, you made me sound so much more interesting. I love your presenter voice.
Well, I tell you, when I read your bio, I was really blown away because it explains why you're so amazing at your job. Like you started entry-level dispatcher, you know, and have been in every single position in it. I mean, you know what it's like to be on the phone and get these phone calls. And so you have that experience and then moving through the ranks.
Yeah.
Don, watch out.
911 was an eye-opening experience. I can tell you I didn't have any idea what I was signing up for when I got my job initially. But it has sparked a love and joy of helping people and really moving into emergency services, expanded my view of everything that goes and is involved in preparing and mitigating and responding and recovering from a disaster. Most people only think about the response piece, but really preparation and recovery takes so much more time and energy than responding to the incident while it's actually occurring. And I'm just 2 years is barely even scraping the surface of knowledge and learning in emergency services. So I'm looking forward to the rest of my career here and growing and learning and helping the citizens of Solano County. I grew up here. I was born in Fairfield. So this is my town and my home and I love it. So I'm I'm happy that I get to continue to serve.
Well, I tell you, I became familiar with OES last year. You all had a practice run at the Solano Fairgrounds, where it was a multi-city, multi group. It include fire and the police department, just all these groups. And you all did a mock disaster,
Yep.
and how we would react and how we would communicate. And I was a victim, and they had me with, with face paint, so it was real. And then I was loaded up and sent to the hospitals that were also and I thought it was the most amazing experience, and we've got to do more of that.
Absolutely. That was a great exercise, but we really need much more training and exercise. I mean, you can never get enough training and exercise, and running through an exercise, as silly as it feels to lay on the ground and pretend to be, a victim. It is so vital for those first responders to get that experience and run through, and it really builds those skills that when the real emergency hits, you pop right into action, and you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing and how to go about doing it. So training and exercise is a critical component of preparing for disasters and emergencies.
Got it. So I'm going to interact with our chat. We always do that before we jump into these 5 steps. We just wanted to take a minute to salute all of our Solano Unsung Heroes. We are thrilled to have you here, Robyn. And we are grateful for our Solano volunteers. I'm just kind of moving backwards here. And Lisa, thank you for giving us that link to CVNL so people can volunteer and get involved. And also our nonprofits and organizations, we want you to get involved as well. Sign up for that portal. I see one of our unsung heroes, Lisa Ostrowski Kelly. She has commented, she's talking about Solano Volunteers and CVNL. We love them. We like that Chris Loftus from Sassoon City. We love that. That was really a wonderful, oh, and here's Jessica. She's always given us some great information. So she's given us a place to get our generators from our house, Case Electric Inc. in Vacaville. And we are showing Jessica some love because we are crazy about her. And there's Jessica. We love her. And let's see, I think we have a lot. Okay, I won't do them all, but I tell you, we have people that are, we are some. I'm gonna put that one up because we are amazing women.
That's right.
I'm gonna claim it. So yay! So with that, let's jump into the presentation. And I don't know if you've seen it before, but I will give you.
I don't know that I have, so we're gonna off the cuff it.
Yeah, I love it. You know what? And I like that better. I do. I remember I was talking to Pam Bertani, and she was like, "Yeah, I need to know what we talking about." And so let's make that So what it is it's 5 essential steps to preparedness, and we want to go over all 5, and we wanted to have you on because Alert Solano is one of my favorite things.
It is mine too. Imagine that.
It absolutely is Alert Solano. So when I show you that screen, and let me show it to you now. When I do this screen, no matter where I present, I always say the screen says calalerts.org, but I say Alert Solano. I love Alert Solano.
Well, I'm pretty sure calalerts.org will take you to whatever your local alert system is, depending upon where you live or work. I do recommend that if you live and work in different places, that you sign up for alerts in both places. And if there's any family members that you are, monitor for safety reasons, like, for example, my grandmother turned 89 yesterday and she still lives alone. So I sign up for alerts in her hometown so I can be sure to be checking in with her and making sure that she is aware of all of the things that are happening in her area.
So to log in, is it www.alertsolano.com?
alertsolano.com. I believe it'll also work for .org. I think we have both. But yeah, alertsolano.com. You need to register. You can give your email, you can give a home phone number, cell phone number. You can give multiple cell phone numbers, multiple email addresses. I do recommend that you sign up with multiple modes of contact, and you can decide how those alerts come in, whether or not it's a text message or a telephone call. I highly recommend, can I give some lessons learned from the most recent fire?
Absolutely.
Okay, so please make sure that you are not only opted in to receive text messages, because I sent, I think it was 12 evacuation notices the night and morning of the fire. And some of those messages, most of those messages were happening at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And if you're like me, you are not going to wake up to your notification sound. So if you are not set to receive phone calls, it's not going to call you. And that can be a really big problem. A couple other things that people don't realize is that if you put your phone on silent or on do not disturb, it's not going to override that setting. So even if we try and contact you, your phone settings will prevent that from happening. So really, I'm a little wary about email and text message contacts only, because those aren't going to wake you up in the middle of the night when you really need that message. So that was a really big lesson learned.
Okay, so you're saying we should sign up for all methods of alerts.
And it will contact you. It will try and contact you until you acknowledge that you received the message. So you can set it up to say, hey, I want you to text me first. And then when you get the text message and you are awake and able to read it, you can acknowledge that you received the message, and the system will no longer continue trying to contact you. But if you don't acknowledge that you received that text message, it will then move to the next thing that you've set up, whether that's email, fax, or phone, and it will go through those modes until you acknowledge that you've received this message. That's another thing that I don't know that all users understand, and they get frustrated because Alert Solano will just keep tracking you down on every phone you own that you signed up with. All you have to do is acknowledge that you got that message, and it will stop trying to contact you. But it's really important to make sure that you are getting phone call notifications, because that's how your evacuation notice is going to come in.
Okay, got it. Okay, let me show you the second, and let's see what you think about making a plan.
Plan is so critical. One more quick thing to say on alerts, because Nixle is a big topic of conversation for people. Nixle is a notification that can only be sent by text message and can only be sent to an entire zip code. So we at Solano County OES do not send evacuation notices to an entire zip code, because it can cause traffic congestion issues and prevent those that are in life safety issue areas, making them unable to get out. So while Nixle is very useful, and I do recommend that you sign up for that as well, because messages do go out via Nixle, and you text your zip code to 888-777. That's how you get those messages. It does not replace signing up for Alert Solano, and you will not receive an evacuation notice if it's generated by Solano County OES to a Nixle zip code, unless that entire area is in danger. We use a map to send a targeted message to the people that we actually need to take protective action. So that's how that message is going to work.
Can you tell us every type of, not every, but kind of in general, the type of alerts that we should expect? Is it, do we know about evacuation centers? Will we hear about power shutoffs? Would you give us a sense of what type of information we should expect?
So we try and make sure, we being Solano OES, because every city has access to Alert Solano. So you could be getting messages, even though they all generically show like they're from Alert Solano, they're not all sent through Solano OES. They could be sent through Backville Police Department or Fairfield Fire Department. We send messages when we require you to take protective action, or when there is there's significant information that we need to share with the community. So we can force send messages to people's landline phones, and under certain circumstances to cell phones. Those are highly restricted under what circumstances you can force send a message. So that's going to be your evacuation notices, your shelter in place notices, and you're going to get evacuation warning or an evacuation order. An evacuation order means you should leave now, your life is in danger imminently. An evacuation warning is just that, it's warning that there may be an imminent issue and you might need to evacuate. Understanding that you can evacuate anytime you feel unsafe. You do not have to wait for a warning or an order. If you feel unsafe, or you know it takes a long time for you to evacuate, you're welcome to evacuate anytime you feel unsafe. And that an order isn't always started with a warning, and you don't always get the order following the warning. It depends on how fast that situation is moving. Sometimes it moves so quickly that notification, we just don't have time to get it out as quickly as the incident is actually evolving. So those are messages that we will push to people even if they haven't opted in to receive messaging. For those people that have opted in to receive messaging, we will send other information if we deem it necessary. Like earlier this year, we sent information about the stay-at-home orders. We have in the past sent information about public safety power shutoff. But just to let everybody know, we generally do not try and repeat messaging that comes from another entity. So PG&E sends public safety, sends information to their customers on public safety power shutoffs, and we do not want to cause confusion by duplicating information and possibly sending wrong information. So we rely on them to send the notifications to their customers, and it is their responsibility to do so. We also, for example, we don't send weather notifications because that's the National Weather Service responsibility, and you can sign up through their system to receive notifications if you want that type of message sent to your phone.
Okay, very good to know. Are you feeling like there's some gaps? And the reason why I'm asking is because I remember there was a Chevron, I believe, on the other side of the bridge. There was smoke that was coming on our side of the bridge and impacted Glen Cove and South Vallejo and Benicia, and I don't know if there was a delay through Alert Solano or a gap there. I don't know. I just remember there being like, you know what? I didn't know about that. I have to follow safe. I'm following Facebook to see what's happening in South Vallejo. So are you feeling like there's kind of some gap in coverage where we're not following? We're kind of, not anywhere. We're not.
So again, we're going to send that message when we are requiring you to take protective action. So if we want you to shelter in place because the air is hazardous, that's something that we would send that message out for. If the public health officer feels like the smoke is at dangerous levels where we don't want you to go outside, that's something that we would send a message for. But we all know, there are wildfires throughout the state that bring smoke into Solano County. If we were sending messaging for smoke in the air, we would be doing it constantly, and we do run into worries about over messaging people, and then they opt out of receiving messages, and then they don't get them when they really need them. So we don't always message. We message when we need you to take protective action.
Got it. Oh, this is so helpful. You just answered every question I ever had about Alert Solano.
Good.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's.
Do we make a plan?
Let's make a plan.
So the federal government has done so much work on disaster planning and disaster. Oh, what is the FEMA website now? Ready.gov. Visit ready.gov,
Ready.gov.
and they have so many resources on how to make a plan. But just remember, you're making a plan for everyone in your household. That includes your four-legged friends. As you were mentioning about Solano Cart, that involves your large animals too, if you live where you have horses or livestock of any kind. So you need to ensure that your plan is set in a way that your family can implement the plan even if you're not there. So my daughter is at home right now by herself doing school. She's 14. I'm at work. So if there's something that needs to happen right now, she needs to know how to implement the plan. Because if something happens right now, given the nature of what my job is, I'm not leaving. I'm here to help serve the rest of the community, and by extension my daughter. But she needs to have a plan. She needs to understand the plan and how to implement that and carry that plan out. I also know that I am more prepared for disasters than anyone else in my family. So if that's the case for you, and your family's plan is to go to your house, your plan needs to make sure to encourage whether or not you're going to have those people come to your house, and then you have the resources needed to take care of them, or letting them know that your plan can't be part of my plan. Those are all things that you need to think through when you're building your plan. But really great resources on ready.gov that can walk you through on making your plan.
Right. We had a guest, Tiffany Jackson Childs, and she loves ready.gov. And the resources, they really built it out.
So many resources. They're really great. Pack a go
So
bag. Definitely.
Yeah.
So there's two things that happen. You either stay in your house or you have to evacuate really quickly. And I can tell you, if you have to evacuate really quickly, your go bag is pretty much all you're going to be able to take after getting your kids and your animals in the car. Your go bag needs to have copies of your important documentation. You need medication. You need charging cords. Everything we do is electronic. You need to have a charging cord for your devices. All of my daughter's school things are at home. So her backpack, she still has a backpack set up for school in case she needs to grab her computer, grab her books, and go, so that she can continue with her distance learning in the event that we needed to evacuate her home. There's things that you need to make sure that you're thinking through. And more than just putting them in a bag, you're talking important documentation. Take photos of it. I can tell you that I have photos of my house and my property. One of the things I learned in the LNU Lightning Complex recovery was from somebody that had previously worked for the insurance commissioner, and he said that his wife periodically, every couple of months or so, goes through every room in their home and takes a video. So if you lose everything, you have documentation of the items that you owned, and there's no argument over those items. So immediately following that, I thought that was great advice. So I went home and I did the exact same thing. And I created a folder in my gallery on my phone, and I took photos of my expensive jewelry, my appliances, things that are significant to replace. Cutco came to Costco and they got me on the Cutco knives. Well, they're expensive. So I took a photo of the receipt. I can prove the items that I own that would need replacement through my insurance company without any arguments. And that was really great advice. But you can do the same thing with your important documentation. I have photos of my declaration pages for my insurance, my important documentation, birth certificates, Social Security. I do not have photos of my Social Security number on my phone, but your birth certificate, your insurance documents, my car insurance document. If it burns, I have proof of all of those things, and I don't have to search for it. Having money in your go kit is really helpful, because depending upon the disaster, you might not be able to go to a bank. So having cash can be really useful. Making sure that your items are in watertight bags. We are thinking fire right now, but we are headed right into flood season. So you need to make sure that you're prepared if there's water damage, and how whether or not your go bag is gonna stay dry enough to be useful. As well as if you have clothing in your go bag, is it seasonally appropriate? Is it size appropriate? As my daughter was growing, I would have to update the clothes in our go bags, regularly. So all things to consider. Also really great resources on packing your go bag at ready.gov.
I love it. And I love these ideas about going through your go bag and make sure that the clothes are season appropriate. Because right now, I would freeze. I mean, it's cold today, and all of everything in my go bag is absolutely ready for summer heat. So.
Yeah. And I take my go bag when I go places. So if I go to town, well, it's COVID land, so you're not going anywhere right now. But if I were to go for training, in the trunk of my car is my go bag. It is not helpful to have a go bag if it's not with you.
Right. I love it. Let me show you number 4. Build a stay box.
Stay box is for when you're sheltering at home. So there are things that you need to consider. Public safety power shutoffs really threw us for the loop because we weren't really prepared to stay at home without electricity. But guess what? That's going to prepare you for the earthquake, because in an earthquake, assuming we're able to stay in our homes, you're not going to have power. So you need to be able to. You need to have water. You need to potentially be able to purify water. What about your restroom situation? You need to have resources to set up a restroom situation. You need to have, there are a ton of different items that are useful to have within the home that you can build a really, really strong stay box. I have shelf-stable foods. I have water. I eat them and rotate them, because you don't want to buy a case of shelf-stable food and leave it there for a decade, and then when you need it, that's what you're eating. That's not a good plan. So making sure that it's something that, one, your family is going to eat, and 2, that you rotate it through and replace it. Water doesn't stay good forever. You should rotate your water. Drink your water and rotate your water. So again, visit ready.gov. I'm going to say that on every slide because they have fantastic resources on how to build your stay boxes. We also did a public education campaign on public safety power shutoffs last year, and on our Facebook page, Solano OES Facebook page, I did a video on building a go kit, and there's some other good videos on there about preparedness that you can check out.
Awesome. Let me show you our 5th one and our last: to help friends and neighbors. What are your thoughts on this?
I think the system doesn't work if we don't help each other. So if you receive a notification, don't assume that somebody else did. Like when we were talking about alerts, there are a number of reasons why alerts may not go to somebody. Maybe they're not signed up. Maybe they're not signed up appropriately. So knocking on your neighbor's door to let them know could be the only notification they receive. And that's not a failure of the system. Honestly, neighbor helping neighbor is a critical part of the system. We rely on people to share information, and we rely on people to share good information. So another lesson learned out of 2020 is the harm of misinformation. So if you're sharing information and by extension helping your friends and neighbors through whatever it is that's happening right now, make sure that what you're telling them is from a trusted source, because there's so many community pages through social media. And I'm not saying they're all bad, and sometimes they have really great information, but sometimes they don't. So make sure that it's trusted information from a trusted source, but definitely be sharing that with your friends and neighbors and family, because we can't do everything on our own. We are reliant on friends and family help, friends and neighbor help. My parents were evacuated in the LNU complex, and they were the only people to notify their neighbors. So without that notification, they wouldn't have left. My sister lost her home in the glass fire in Napa, and she got it because I called her, because it was so early in the morning and she didn't hear her phone. So it's really important that we are not only thinking of ourselves, but thinking of others and how we can help them. And yeah, it's
thank you for talking about that again. I know Jessica has spoke really strongly about that. And Jason Roberts, he's in the field, and his neighbors knocked on his door and woke him up. And I would say, of all the 5 steps of everything that was in my consciousness, this wasn't, you know. And so because of this program, because of this show, I now am conscious about my neighbors, and it's not good enough for us to receive the information and act for ourselves. So thank you for talking about that again. It's so important.
Definitely.
So let me go back and see if we have some outstanding thoughts and questions. I'm laughing because Lisa told Lisa Kelly that you're going to have a lot of people at your doorsteps. Have this background, I don't know if it's wilderness preparedness. I don't know what to call it, but this is a woman that can handle herself anywhere. And I want to be with her because I don't feel like I can handle myself anywhere.
Yeah, my family and friends tell me I'm prepared for the zombies.
Oh. Oh, here we go. Miss Delphine Meltcat Foster. This lady is a superstar. She is a veteran, a veteran that has done amazing work, and she was let me see if I can recall it right. There's an organization and she's the head of it. And I believe she's the first Black woman to head this specific veterans group. I don't know, but she is a powerhouse. So you have some high-powered folks watching us. I think it's because of you. You're drawing them in.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for your service.
Let's see. Oh, good. You know, Rhonda, I feel the same thing. When I was hearing Robyn speak, I was like, oh, I need to go back and edit my profile for Alert Solano. So we want everyone to join. You go in and make sure that your profile is completely filled out. And then, let's see, and then the others are just me, you know, reminding people, pack a go bag. And I thought your idea about your thoughts surrounding packing your items and packing them in watertight bags. I've never thought of that before. Never thought of it. Rhonda she says, okay. She's like, uh-oh, was I supposed to keep the go ready bag in my car?
Well, it's not helpful if you don't have it.
I tell you, and again, that we want people to knock on the doors. You know, I'm looking at 2 different, knock on your neighbor's door, but I love how Rhonda just summarized this. We need each other to survive. Oh, hello, Amit Powell. I love him.
Hi, Amit.
You know Amit, huh?
I do. Fantastic partner. Another great thing to come out of 2020. There's some amazing people that I have met and worked with in 2020 that are really the shining light at the end of my year. That has not been an easy year for anybody.
It has not been an easy year. And Amit, I think he's with PG&E now.
Yep.
And Amit, you are really, you're a mentor for me. I think you are pretty fabulous. And okay, so of course, Rhonda and Lisa always get me situated surrounding what I'm saying. And so Delphine, the Honorable Delphine Metcalf Foster was the past national commander for the Disabled American Veterans.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we have the link here for Solano OES, so we can all like your page, follow it, and share, right? The power is in sharing.
The power is in sharing. So please, we post all our information on our Facebook page. We also heavily rely on the Sheriff's Office Facebook page and their following. but please, please, please share information. There was a post today because the Sacramento region, I'm sure you know, fell below the 15% ICU capacity. So they have been placed into the stay-at-home order. Well, the state of California has been already did, because it's one. They sent a wireless emergency alert letting people know that they're in the stay-at-home order. Well, we border them, so there's a possibility of bleed over of that message, and it can really freak people out. So, we posted that on our Facebook page. Those are the kinds of things we really rely on our community partners to share to get the word out.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, any final words? We're at the top of our hour. I am thrilled to spend this time with you and for you to inform our community, engage our community. You are so much fun.
Thank you. I'm really happy that I got to be here again. Thank you for having me. I hope that my information was useful. I look forward to a 2021 with the COVID vaccine. One last thing I want to say, if anyone watching was impacted by the LNU Lightning Complex fire, today is the last day to register with FEMA to receive individual assistance, which you can do even if you have insurance. So please go to disasterassistance.gov and register with FEMA.
Okay. And was the people impacted, was it mostly areas of Vacaville and areas of Fairfield?
Mostly unincorporated areas of Vacaville.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So hopefully, I know we do have some Vacaville. I think we need to tag as many Vacaville folks as possible. And I feel like it was specifically maybe District 3 in Vacaville. So anyway, we need to get the word out to folks to make sure that they are accessing those resources. Today is the last day. Is it midnight?
It should be midnight. Yeah, they did an extension. So today's the last day on the extension. I'll be updating the posts that we've previously put out about the extension for registration.
Okay, and we'll share that as well.
Great.
Well, this has been amazing. I'm going to put you in the green room, and I'll wrap up the show.
All right.
But don't go away. I want to say thank you to you.
Okay, I'll hang out. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Was that amazing? This is a wonderful roundup to a show that I have been pleased to host, to be one of the sponsors. I've learned so much personally, and I'm just proud to be here. So again, this is the final episode of Unsung Heroes. I am going to post in the chat room so that everyone has it. I'm going to post the special. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, that was weird. That was weird. Now that was a little strange, a little technical snafu, but on the bottom of our screen, you can see in our chat the EmpowerSolano.com Unsung Heroes link. You can see Robyn will be updated tonight, and you will see our full series of Unsung Hero. With that, it's been a pleasure. My name is K Patrice Williams, signing off for Unsung Heroes of Solano.